Hey everyone, this is Pilot Niels, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at Lay Susan, DDO, and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Everything going fine over in Barovia?
You know, just another Barovian day of mist and gypsies and attacks and, same old, same old. As we always say, same mist, different day.
Same mist, different day. Then let's head into the news and see what's happening over there, where it looks like that the mist is bringing in dragons to celebrate the year.
We love dragons, maybe, if they're nice dragons. I mean, there are good dragons. So, sure. Yeah, DDO, we did talk about this last episode that, they did say during the next year they're going to participate in helping the Year of the Dragon, which could mean many things. Like, number one, it's the Chinese New Year, this is the Year of the Dragon, if you did not know. And it's also Dungeons & Dragons' 50th anniversary. So DDO is just like, hey, we can have a whole year of special stuff. So they say in celebration of Dungeons & Dragons' 50th anniversary, DDO is launching the Year of the Dragon, featuring a monthly giveaway of free dragon-themed gifts. Don't miss out. Starting on the last Wednesday of every month, new drops will be released, and those will remain available to redeem for free until only the next offering debuts. So you have a very short window of time, basically from the end of the month to the end of the next month. And then the new gift will start. We'll explain that in a second. It's kind of confusing, but it's not.
All right. So that means that the first one's coming out on February 28th?
Yes, correct. So what these are going to be, we don't really know, ? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that. So yes, so in February, on the 28th, we are going to get the Dragon Lord archetype.
Oh, well, that sounds like a game update rather than something to be redeemed.
That you have to redeem it in the game to get it.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is there's going to be a NPC in the Hall of Heroes. You're going to go talk to him. Then that's going to unlock the Dragon Lord archetype on your account for you.
Okay.
This will be eventually free to VIPs. It'll be available in the store, but you might as well just unlock it for free. So between February 28th and the March, probably the 28th. I'm assuming they'll just go on the 28th.
Well, that'll be more likely the 27th on March side because it's a leap year.
Oh, yep. I forgot about leap year. So yes. So you have until February 28th till March, probably 27th, to redeem that. So then in March, we're going to get the Gift of the Silver Dragon. This is going to be a free new adventure pack, which we do already know, thanks to Lamania, what the adventures are going to be. It's the ones that they have been previewing on Lamania. This is going to be like a comedic-themed adventure pack, so don't expect anything serious. It's not.
You mean similar to the one with the cat?
Yes, it'll be that type of quest. Like, I should have pulled it up, but the first quest that they showed on the Mania was called Fred's First Date, and you go on a date with Fred the Mind Flayer.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a tongue-in-cheek one.
Yes, it's that type of quest. So that's what we're getting in March. And then also for the March giveaway as well. VIPs are going to get daily gold rolls through March, which is kind of a misnomer. You're going to get those free daily gold rolls, but they're going to start the end of March when this giveaway starts, and then they'll go through the end of April.
Okay.
So I don't know why they should have just said you get them for the month of April, but whatever. It's because it's weird how you have to click to redeem the thing. But anyway, so in April, this is the one where we get to guess what the heck this is that they're going to give away. If it's even going to be a giveaway, that's the other thing. More on that in a minute. In April, it's a Curate Your X-Pack Cache. Hey, you have them all, you get a free Elixir of Discovery. So,
okay,
one would assume what I would, if I was to guess at this, which apparently that's what I'm going to do right now, so here we are. I would say all of the older expansion packs, probably up to maybe Saltmarsh. I'm not sure if they'll go up that high. My guess is you're going to get those for free. They're just going to give those away because those have all been on sale for 99 points in the past. So I'm guessing because it would be weird to not have a full giveaway because this whole thing is they're giving you stuff. Right. So it would be weird to say, hey, these expansion packs are on sale, so you can go buy them now. No, I think they're just going to give all of the older expansion packs for free.
Okay, you mean the ones that we got when we typed in the 2024?
Those were for quest packs. This is expansion packs.
Oh, expansion packs.
This would be like Menace of the Underdark. Would be like Ravenloft.
All right.
I would guess maybe they would stop it at Saltmarsh. I don't think they would go newer than that. I don't even, and part of me is thinking Saltmarsh is not even going to be involved in it, but we don't know. And they're kind of keeping all this vague because they kind of want this to be a mystery and like a fun thing. Right. But then again, so the end of April, you're going to go into the Hall of Heroes. You're going to talk to the NPC. You can curate your own XP cache, whatever that means. And then if you happen to have all of the XP packs already, you're going to get a Elixir of Discovery.
Okay.
Okay, I guess. I mean, but then again, we don't know exactly what that means. But like I said, to me, it would be weird to have this whole year-long giveaway thing and have one of them will be, well, you're really getting nothing for free, but you can go buy these. So I really, really think some of the older XP packs they're just going to give away.
All right. So now it looks like that for May, we're getting a dragon mount?
Yep, a ground-bound, say that a couple times fast, green dragon mount. They did stress the fact several times on some live streams and in the forums, this will not fly. This is not a flying mount. That is why it's called a ground-bound.
Yes.
It's a dragon, but it's going to stay on the ground.
Yes, its wings apparently haven't fully developed.
Yes,
in order to get the lift.
So you're not going to fly, people. No flying mounts in DDO. Sorry.
Too bad.
And then in June, we're going to get the Dragon Hatchling Pet. Just
how cute.
What it says on the tin. It's going to be a little dragon hatchling that'll follow you around.
Do we know what color it'll be yet?
We do not.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say green since the dragon mount that we're getting is green. We're getting blue draconic wings in July, so maybe it'll be a blue hatchling.
Oh, or maybe they're trying to fit all of the colors in here during the time of the year, so it will be a different color, so it won't match one of those two.
That could be too, as well. So yeah, in July, as I said, the blue draconic wings. These, guessing, once again, all this is speculation because all that we know for sure is this is going to be a year-long giveaway and how it works. We don't exactly know what this stuff looks like. We don't know. And some of the other stuff we're going to be speculating on as well. But these, I would assume, are going to look similar to like what the Reaper wings look like. So if you've seen people run around with Reaper wings, but these will just look like dragon wings.
That's what those rings I occasionally see on people are.
Yeah, they're Reaper wings, correct. And then
what do the Reaper wings do? Just cosmetic?
Yeah, it's just cosmetic. Just to show that you've got, I forgot how many Reaper points you have to get those. I don't remember what it is. It's a lot, but
a lot more than I'll ever get.
Well, as seeing you never play on Reaper, I'm going to go out on a guess and say yes, more than you will ever get. In August, we're getting a Draconic Raiders reward box. This is limited to one per server, so keep that in mind. So make sure you pick the right server to pick up this reward. I would guess this is similar to the other.
Actually, it says one per server. It's the other one, like the XP cache, that is one per account.
Oh, did I say account? I'm sorry. I meant server. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, if I said account, yes, it's one per server.
Yeah, right character on your server, though.
Yes. So just make sure you pick correctly. This, I am going to go out on a limb and say, assuming this is going to be just like every other Raiders reward box we have gotten. You can just pick from raid rewards for older raids. That's what these have been in the past. So and they're just calling it Draconic just to make it fit in.
Well, maybe are there any raids that where the raid rewards were related to dragons somehow?
There's a couple, yeah. They're newer raids, so I can't see them giving... one of them, like Killing Time, has a couple draconic rewards in it. There's a couple older ones that, so I don't know. I'm just assuming it's going to be a Raiders Reward box, and you can pick, like, the first time that we got one of these Raider Reward box, it was stuff from Menace of the Underdark. It was that raid, so I'm guessing that's what this is going to be, but who knows? I doubt they would put stuff from new raids in here, but maybe just like balance wise, yeah. And then plus they really want people to run the raids, so why would they just give that? So we'll see. Once again, speculating about all this. They're keeping vague about all this because this is supposed to be a fun little event to do. And then in September, we're getting a prismatic dragon outfit.
What?
Okay. Sure. So if you like outfits, you like prismatic dragons, you can look like one, question mark.
So what is exactly the prismatic dragon?
Yeah, well, if it would just be, I'm assuming it's just going to be like a multicolored dragon outfit because the prismatic dragon is like multicolored.
Right. So, I mean, we're going to look like Tiamat or something?
But maybe, probably. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Use your imagination. I'm
okay.
I'm assuming I'm picturing something like that is a multicolored, like, I don't really want to say glittery, but I'm kind of thinking it's going to be like a very loud, very
psychedelic dragon.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a very loud, out in your face type of outfit, because that's kind of what prismatic dragons are.
Okay.
And then in October, we're going to get the Horde of Discovery. This one is limited to 1 per account. Claim it on your preferred server. We have no clue what this is going to be. It's a selector box of some type. So I would guess you could pick from many things, but I don't know. Is it going to be like a rehash of the Raiders Reward box plus maybe something else? Maybe it's all new something that you can pick from. We don't know.
The next one is even weirder.
Yeah, say. And then November, we have another pick box. A pick of the Dragon's Lair. Once again, limited to 1 per account. Claim on your preferred server. Who knows? So use your imagination. I would hope for these last two, like the Horde of Discovery and the pick of the Dragon, they would give us some like new rewards to pick from. I would hope it wouldn't just be a rehash of like the Raiders Reward box and we could just pick the same stuff. I'm hoping these at least have some newer, something they've, maybe they've designed some new cosmetics or new weapon aura or something that we can pick from. But I guess, we'll see.
We shall find out.
Had to wait till October, November to find that out. So then December, we're getting the Dragon Path Aura footprints. If you've seen anybody that have the bloody footprints or the golden footprints, works the same way. Just going to look like you got dragon feet. In January, we're getting the Armor of the Dragon Cult. Once again, I'm going to guess it's going to be some type of draconic looking armor. It'll be a cosmetic, I would assume. I can't see it actually being functional armor and then giving it away unless it just has horrible stats. And then in February, to wrap this up, the last reward we're going to get is the Dragon Disciple archetype. So we're getting a new archetype.
Okay, so we get one at the end of February 2024 and at the end of February 2025.
Yep, it'll wrap it all up with a nice draconic bow, as it were.
A nice draconic bow.
And then we don't know anything about this either. I think they did say, or I heard, now I can't remember if I'm making this up, so don't quote me on this, but I think I did either read or hear that this one is going to be a magic user archetype. It's going to be a sorcerer. I thought that is what I heard, but now I don't know if that is just some other speculation that I heard, and I'm thinking I actually heard that officially, so don't take that as that's what it's going to be, but I have a
because
feeling.
I would have thought it would be a cleric archetype.
And no, I'm pretty sure I heard it was going to be like a magic like Sork type.
Okay.
So there you go. That's what we got coming up for our Year of the Dragon. I mean, I'm sort of kind of excited about some of these. Like the Dragon Mount is cool. I'll be interested to see what they do with these reward boxes. Looking forward to that.
I'm sorry. When you said Dragon Mount, the way you said that, I immediately pictured a very large mountain in the Wheel of Time called Dragon Mount.
Maybe we're getting that too. Who knows?
Yeah, well, yes, I could just imagine the Dragon Reborn coming down the mountain.
It could happen.
All right. Well, that's then a look at the Dragon Celebration calendar. We'll find out what it really means over the course of the next year. So let's then speak about the Players Council, because apparently they're looking for new members.
They are. The court have been posted over on the forums. It has been a while since we last updated the membership of the Players Council, and the time is now. There is a link, and it'll be linked in the show notes. That'll take you directly to this post where you can apply. Applications are going to be open through February the 28th. After that point, they're going to sort through the application, and then they'll get the new players that are selected on the Players Council. You can read more about the Players Council and get frequently asked questions over on the forums, which will also be linked in our show notes. So there you go. If you want to join the Players Council, now is your time through February the 28th. So you got a little bit of time, yeah?
Then, with that out of the way, let's go and find out what's coming in from the dungeon. Because not only has Sandstone Games released their celebration calendar for the Year of the Dragon, but it looks like there's also a release schedule out there for Dungeons & Dragons itself over from the guys at Hasbro, Wotc, or whatever they like to call themselves these days.
Who knows? Like, we're screwing up our game and our company is collapsing. That's what I call them. But yeah, sure. Yeah, they have released. Don't get me started. They have released the schedule for the next set of books. Of course, D&D started 50 this year, so we're celebrating that. Yay, D&D being 50. We've got Descent into the Lost Caverns of Toshint. I always pronounce that wrong. Don't come at me, anybody. I've heard that pronounced 15 different ways. I've heard it Toascanth. I've heard it Tocanth. I've heard it Toshanth. Who knows how to pronounce that? It's a word that Gary Gygax made up. So,
oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
soy cat.
I see, and I've heard it that way too.
Yeah, I've heard it that way too. Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Beaker if he knows what the proper way is to say it. But anyway, that book is coming out March 2024. Then we have, and we'll talk about these books in depth here in a second. Then we have Vecna, Eye of Ruin, May 21st, 2024. If I can speak, that would be great. The Making of the Original Dungeons & Dragons, 1970 to 1976, coming out June 18th. Of 24, Quest from the Infinite Staircase on July 16th, Player's Handbook for the new whatever they're calling it edition of D&D, the new Player's Handbook, they're calling it the 2024 Player's Handbook, but there's a flaw in their logic with that. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
September 17th is when the Player's Handbook comes out. The Dungeon Master Guide for 2024 comes out November 12th. And then February 18th of 2025, we get the 2024 Monster Manual in 2025.
Okay.
Checks out. So yeah, this is the new version of D&D, which for a while it was called D&D 1, then it was called D&D 5e. Some people are calling it D&D 5e.2. Whatever you want to call it. It's the Wizards is just calling it 2024 D&D, which is stupid, but whatever. Okay. So yeah.
And they need a new version of D&D for what reason?
Because they want to, and it's the 50th anniversary. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
Then
don't
they
think
call
we
the
do.
50th anniversary edition.
That would make more sense than what they're doing, but it's
Okay.
it's Hasbro WotC, so I digress.
Okay.
So if you remember, a couple weeks ago we talked about some of these books and their release dates. These have changed a lot from the last time we talked about them, which, probably will happen when you fire half of your staff that writes your books for you. It's kind of hard to get books out when you fired the people that write your books, but
They fired the people
Hasbro
that
WotC. Oh, yeah. Like, you don't remember us talking about all the layoffs that WotC did?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then later it came out that a bulk of the people that got let go were the core book people. So, yeah. So, shocker, your books are delayed because you don't have that many people working on them, but I digress anyway. So, what do we got actually coming out that we just talked about? Descent into the Lost Caverns of whatever the hell that word is reviving the classic first edition adventure, The Lost Caverns of whatever, in it's a single session dungeon crawler that'll evoke the feeling of the eventual module from 50 years ago, complete with the tournament scoring system, just to see how well you would have fared if you would have played this back in the day.
Okay. So this is then going to be complete death then. And you know how those old tournament ones, the Tomb of Horrors is the ultimate of the old tournament style.
The Lost Caverns of Sothcanth, whatever, is really not, it's not like a death dungeon. I played it a long time ago. One of my first DMs I started playing with ran it. It's challenging, but it's not like Tomb of Horrors. Like, it's not designed just to straight kill you. It's a challenge, but it's not a death dungeon. From what I remember, it's been so long since I even read through this module.
All right, so yeah, okay. S4, The Lost Caverns of Soycat by Gary Gygax, an adventure for characters levels 6 to 10.
It says Wizards of the Coast did say this book will be one of multiple events that celebrate play, with sessions being run in stores and conventions as part of the anniversary celebration, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. The word multiple seems to be a hint here, as we'll be getting more of these at some point. But for now, we'll have to see how this plays out in March. So there you go. If you're a fan of that original module, it's going to be updated for, I'm just going to keep calling it 5e. I refuse to call it 2024 D&D. That's stupid. I'm calling it 5e. So there you go.
But there's already a set of 5e books.
It's confusing. It's confusing. That's why it's confusing. All these new 2024 books will be compatible with everything that is out now.
Okay.
So you can take the new books and still use them with the old books because it's still 5e. It's just updated, but it's still 5e. So why didn't they call it something else? Why didn't they just call it 6th edition? Like, I don't know. I don't get me started on that rant because
okay.
I can rant forever on that.
All right, fine. Okay, so we have the. All right, so we then have the Eva Bruin.
Yep, Vecna Eva Bruin, which comes out May 21st. This campaign is going to take heroes from Forgotten Realms through Planescape, Spelljammer, Eberron, Ravenloft, Dragonlance, and Greyhawk to face. I'm gonna guess Vecna since his name's on the cover. I'm pretty sure this is going to involve Vecna. It's going to come in 2 covers like most books do. You got the standard game store, and then you have the special limited edition color, which I kind of like the limited edition cover. It's up on the screen if you're watching the YouTube version now. If you listen to the audio, you can go over in the show notes and click to see it, but I kind of like this limited edition color. It's got Vecna's hand. I like it. So yeah, I'm semi-excited about this because it's Vecna, because we all know I love Vecna, a lot. So I'm pretty excited about this, we'll say. I mean, anything with Vecna, but judging by the last couple adventures that have been quote-unquote new adventures they have written, They haven't been all that great, so
Why? Because they were done by new writers instead of ones who.
no, those were actually done by the people that
Oh,
used to work at Wizards. They just I don't like the way they're writing their books now, but anyway.
oh, okay.
So we'll see. I'm gonna go into this thinking this is going to be a new start, a new day. It's going to be a great adventure. So we'll see.
We can only
We'll
hope.
see. Then this is the thing I think I am most excited about: the Making of Original Dungeons and Dragons, 1970 to 1976. That is quite the title of a book. This is, as we said, coming out June 18th. This is going to be a piece of history rather than a source book. Wizards is calling this a retrospective historical book.
The thing looks like a textbook to me.
That's basically what it is. It's 500 pages, so it's a very, very thick book. It's going to include letters from Gary Gygax. You're going to get a bunch of behind the scenes stuff of the design of the original D&D, and you're also going to get the actual original page by page recreation of the original D&D. So the very, very first edition that was ever published, they're going to republish for the first time in its glory.
Are you talking about Men in Magic and the like, or are you talking about something that even predated that?
No, it's the D&D OE. It's like the original first edition of D&D that came out in the little pamphlets that you could buy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Men in Magic. When I
Yes.
say Men in Magic, I'm talking about that.
Okay, yes.
The very first pamphlet of the trio
Yes.
was called Men in Magic.
Yes, that is what is going to be recreated for the first time. Which I'm not quite sure how they're
Basically
pulling
from
that
the
off.
original, or because I know that they made a couple of changes
No,
because of the Tolkien estate.
This is going to be the original with the Tolkien stuff in it, which I don't know how they're doing it.
Okay.
I would love to know how they got that by
Right.
the Middle Earth Enterprises. But yes, it's going to have the hobbits and the Balrog.
Okay.
And all of the naughty stuff that wasn't supposed to be in it. That back at the time, TSR was like, we don't need rights. Who needs copyrights? It's fine. So this is the one I'm out of this whole set of books that's coming out. This is the one I think I'm most excited about, and it looks
cost a ton.
Yeah, they haven't really said MSRP, but yeah, it's probably not going to be cheap. So then we have Quest from the Infinite Staircase on July 16th. This is going to be an adventure book. It's going to have adventures for levels 1 to 13. It's updated for the current edition, which doesn't make sense. What do you mean updated for the current edition? But okay, fine, whatever.
It says 6 classic adventures, so that means that they are...
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the 6 classic adventure parts. Okay.
Yes.
It's one of their little, we'll just update adventures and call it new, and people will buy it and we'll make money and it'll be good.
From the Infinite Staircase.
Could care less about this, to be honest, but okay. Then the 2024 Player's Handbook. It's what we said before. It's an updated version with new rules, new errata, yada, 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 for the 2024 edition. Yeah. Easier to navigate. Exciting new content. Deliver on lessons learned. Have you, though? Have you, Wotc? Have you learned any lessons? Anyway, then we have the Dungeon Master's Guide. Same thing. We don't have to hash it. And then the Monster Manual. Monster Manual is the one that we know the littlest about. They haven't really said much, other than it's going to have like over 500 monsters. We don't know if that's going to include new monsters, or if it's going to be rewrites of old monsters. But it doesn't seem like there's 500 in the other monster. I'd have to grab my 5e Monster Manual and look, but I do believe there's going to be some new monsters in this, because I don't think there's 500 in the other one. Oh, yeah, the press release did say there's 300 in the original, so 200 no more monsters.
Well, hold it, but does the current edition have all the monsters from all the older ones? Because they could be revisiting older monsters that have been dropped from 5th edition.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That's true. That is true, because there are a lot of monsters that are not included, so that is true.
Yeah. I mean, all those bureaucratic spirits from the
And then,
was it Mono? Or I forgot what they were called because they were dropped in
oh,
so many.
yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
And they are changing some of the challenge ratings. Wizards did say, I think it was one of their videos they did, this monster manual is going to focus on CR10 and above monsters. So the bulk of the stuff is going to be CR10 monsters. So that's kind of awesome. So if you want to start playing higher level stuff, you can, because you're going to get some higher monsters to fight, which is cool. So there you go. That one's, once again, not coming out till 2025. So there's a look at our new books coming out for D&D, whatever you want to call it, whichever version, whichever version you want it to be.
It's the What I Believe edition.
It's something.
Yes. Let's go and see what's on the tabletop. Where apparently G.I. Joe Battle for the Arctic Circle Axis and Allies pre-order Oh, G.I. Joe Battle for the Arctic Circle Axis and Ally. And are those different products or
Nope.
one big huge name?
It's one big huge name. It's Battle for the Arctic Circle, Axis and Allies, G.I. Joe. So it's Axis and Allies, but it's G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, Axis and has G.I. Joe and Axis and Allies been together before?
First time.
First time, and they go start out in a cold place.
In the Arctic Circle, nonetheless. Yes, Cobra has invaded the North Pole and threatens the world with its weather dominator. Luckily, the Joes are ready to take on Cobra Commander and Destro, with a force led by Admiral Keelhaul and Snowjob. Battle for the Arctic Circle will feature over 100 plastic miniatures ready to help players engage in classic Axis and Allies gameplay over the course of 3 scenarios that will be included in the core game box.
Okay. What are they trying to do? Destroy the Arctic vortex or something?
Yeah, because they have their weather dominator, so they're going to try to harness the power of the Arctic Circle and the North Pole to add that to their weather dominator, so they will control the weather throughout the whole world. Mm-hmm. But it's up to the Joes to stop them. You can pre-order this now over on the Renegade site. I will admit I have played Axis and Allies a total of 1 time. And I really didn't understand what was going on the time I was playing. So I am excited about this because I love G.I. Joe, which we have covered on the show many times. We've talked about other G.I. Joe products. So super excited about this. They Renegade did say that this is going to have the updated Axis and Allies rules that make it easier to learn. It's still the same Axis and Allies, so if you're used to, the hardcore Axis and Allies gameplay, that's there, but this is easier to learn. So it's the entry point's a little easier than like the older Axis and Allies games. Which they're also, by the way, updating. There'll be new versions of all them coming out as well. I did just get a press release from them the other day about they're reprinting the 50th anniversary edition of Axis and Allies, which I guess if you're an Axis and Allies person, everybody says that's the best edition they've ever did was the 50th. So that is getting a reprint, which people are super excited about.
The 50th, I would presume that's the 50th edition of anniversary of World War II then, or of what?
I don't know. They're just calling it the 50th anniversary edition of Axis and Allies. So I don't know what. I would have to look at the press release.
Oh, because you said they're reprinting it.
Yes.
But the Axis and Allies hasn't been around for 50 years.
Got to be World War II then? I don't know. That's just what they're calling it. It might just be PR speak. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, PR speak is probably something that's pretty common, I guess.
But yeah, G.I. Joe, Battle for the Arctic Circle, Axis and Allies. That is a really long title. For pre-order now over on Renegade.
Okie dokie. Well, then if that was enough of a tongue twister for you, then Renegade is going to bring us a game called The Search for UAPs.
And I have been waiting to talk about this because I want to ask you, do you know what a UAP is?
You mean other than unidentified anomalous phenomena?
Okay.
That's the... Now, I'm just wondering, is this supposed to be the replacement politically correct word for UFOs, or is this...
I don't know. That's what I'm confused about. Because I have known about the UAP, and that is, if you want to get deep into the rabbit hole of this, UAP is what the government calls them. The government does not call them UFOs. They never have. They've always been UAPs. It's unidentified anomalous phenomena. That is what... So if you hear the government talking about UAPs, which last summer Congress had a whole briefing on UAPs, it was UFOs. That's what they were talking about. The government does not call them UFOs. They never have. I don't know why, to be honest, but anyway. So yes, this is pretty much what you think it is. This is from Renegade Game Studios and also Bezier Games. They're kind of teaming up for this one. This is the Search for UAPs. This is the latest addition to the Search For line. So if you're familiar with the Search for Planet X and the Search for the Lost Species, this kind of takes over from there. I haven't played either one of those. I've heard of them, but I haven't played either one of them, but this is the new one in the line. Over the past 100 years, there have been many sightings of unidentified flying objects. Using your deduction skills, you will be tasked with tracking these unidentified anomalous phenomenons down, or the UAPs, to help global scientific community gain a better understanding of the mysteries above. You will use your deduction skills with some new gameplay elements, so it changes the other In Search Of games a little bit. And then you will find these UAPs, and then what you're going to do is there's an app that's involved with this that you will enter your findings in the app, and then it's going to tell you if they are a confirmed UAP or not.
Or if it's the planet Venus.
It's... Who knows? Yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of exciting to me. I really like the cover of the game box a lot. But yeah, it's just weird that they went with the UAPs and not UFOs. I think you would draw a bigger audience if you would have said UFOs, because I think most people, if you would poll 100 people, how many people out of that 100 do you think would know what a UAP is? And then you ask those same 100 people what a UFO is, and I guarantee you they would probably know, right?
Oh, UFO, just about everybody is familiar with that term, yes.
Yeah, so it's weird. But anyway, this is up for pre-order now as well. No exact, let me see if they've updated this, because last I looked, there was no exact release date for this. They just said August. Yeah, they're still just saying August. My guess is it's going to be Gen Con time, would be my guess.
That sounds consistent with an August announcement.
So there you go, the Search for UAPs.
Then, with that done, it's time to head into our weekend gaming. And Drac, what were you up to?
Well, I did a lot of tabletop stuff. I did quite a bit, actually. Played Marvel United X-Men for the first time. We played twice and lost horribly both times. That game is super hard. Like, super, super hard. Then we played Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. Lost that as well. Those games are so hard, but so fun. And believe it or not, that's the first time I've actually played Arkham Horror as well. I've had it forever. I just never got it to the table. And finally, my friend came over, and we had been talking via text throughout the week about Cthulhu games and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? Let's play Arkham Horror. Why not? Played Dungeons & Dragons Castle Ravenloft. Did the 12th scenario. I think it was 12. I basically just asked the person, I'm not going to say her name because she's sitting over there on the table, and if I say her name, she'll go, yes, you know who you are.
Oh, that one.
That one. Her, she, yes. I looked how many scenarios there were, and I said pick a random number between 1 and whatever. I forgot how many scenarios in the book.
13, I think.
Okay, yeah, I could say, I want to say 13 or 14. And she picked 12. So that's the one that we did. We lost that one as well. Once again, we've been playing hard games here lately. Yeah. And then the last tabletop game we played was Tailmore. That is a dungeon crawler that uses an app, and everything has QR codes that you scan in the app, and that's how the story progresses and how you solve problems. And you, like, for example, there was one point I was playing the rogue. I know everybody's shocked that I was playing the rogue. What? I had my lockpicks, and then there was a chest that was locked, so I had to scan the lockpicks, and then it said, what do you want to use the lockpicks on? Then I had to scan the QR code for the chest, and then it did the calculations, and then whatever happened. So we got through the first dungeon of that. It's kind of like a continuating campaignish type game, because anything you gain and like levels you gain from one dungeon will carry over into the next. The app remembers everything. So next time we play, we can just pick right up from, I think we made it to second level after the first dungeon. It was just kind of like a training little mini dungeon. It wasn't that hard. My guess is it's going to get considerably harder, because there was just like one puzzle. There was like a room that had 4 chests in it, and you had to figure out which ones. There was like a puzzle that, like the clue, I forgot exactly how it was worded, but basically you had to do the chest in certain orders to open the door, and we just had to figure that out. That was the hardest, and I'm using air quotes that nobody can see because it's an audio podcast, but that was the hardest part of that dungeon, was just figuring out the order of those chests to open that door. But once we figured that out, I mean, it really wasn't that hard. So that was my tabletop plays. I did play one more tabletop game. It's called Think Like a Shrink. This was actually for review, so the review of this will be up pretty soon. This is a party game. It's sort of like Cards Against Humanity a little bit. Yeah, you have a cue card that you have to answer. Like, it'll be I can't think of exactly what one of them won, but it would be like you see your dog running away from your house, and then there's like 5 cards that are laid on the table, and then you have to pick which card best suits your answer to that question. And then everybody else has to try to guess, okay, you're going to say this because of this. And then you also have to pick an emotion to go along with that. So there would be cue prompts and then an emotion, and they're going to say you would chase after him because you would be worried that your dog was going to get lost or something like that. If that sort of makes sense. It's kind of a roundabout way to describe it. And then everybody gets points for how close they get. Like you get certain points if you guess right on, yeah, I picked that card of like, and it had a picture of a guy running, and then the emotion was fear because, yeah, I was afraid my dog was going to go away. And then you have to write, like the person that is giving the clues has to write their answer down on an erasable board, so that way you can't cheat. And then you have to show, after everybody gives their answers, you have to show exactly what you put. So it's not like you could just pick, oh yeah, you got it right. No, you have to prove, what you pick. So it's interesting. We only played it with just like 2 people. It would be much better with more people. It plays up to 5. I could see it being very good with like the full 5 people. To be honest, it wasn't that great with just two, but I can see where they were going with it and how it would spark conversation, and you could kind of get to know your friends a little better, maybe more than you would want with some of the
It sounds like one of those.
some of the prompts, because we kind of looked at some of the other cards after we get done playing, and I'm like, oh, this could get very, yeah. So it's but yeah, look for a review of that coming up. That's available on Amazon. I don't know if it's in stores or not. They actually reached out randomly, so it's a first time game company. The people that created it are actually, it's a psychiatrist and a psychologist, both, that made the game. So
Wonderful.
yeah, it's like I said, it was interesting. I want to play it with more of my friends. Like I said, I want to play it with like the full 5 because I think it would be much better with that. It wasn't that great with just 2, to be fair, but I think it's more geared for a higher player count.
It sounds like a party type game.
Yeah, it. Oh, definitely it is.
Yeah. Your party type games don't. Yeah, going 2 people just doesn't sound like.
Yeah.
it.
So that's called Think Like a Shrink. Like I said, look for a review probably next week. I'll just got to get some time to type it up. And then the last thing I did was in video games, played an upcoming game that is coming out. It's called Robin Hood Sherwood Builders. It's kind of what you think just from the name. It's an action adventure RPG with some base building elements. You're going to take on the role of the classic hero, Robin Hood, who stands up for tyranny and injustice, and he hunts through Sherwood Forest. You're going to craft, you're going to steal, and of course, you're going to help all the local people grow and prosper. So you wouldn't think necessarily, you know what a Robin Hood game needs? Base building. You wouldn't think that, but in a weird kind of way, it works.
It somehow works.
It really kind of does. This is planned to come out on February 29th. I will link the Steam page for it so you can get it then. It's pretty good. I actually had fun with it. I didn't play it a lot, to be fair, though. But I am probably not the core audience for it because I don't enjoy base building all that much. But I actually had fun with this one. I like, most of the time, if I'm playing a base building type game, it's usually never solo. It's usually like a multiplayer game. And I let other people do the base building, and I go out and, gather the resources and loot and do all that. That's the part I like better. But I actually did kind of enjoy base building on this one. So look for that one. As I said, there'll be links over in the show notes for it. It's called the Robin Hood Sherwood Builders. It'll be on Steam February 29th is the planned release for that. And that was my week. What about you?
All right, I will begin with DDO, where my Artificer / Storm Singer, I reached level 5. I believe it's level 2 Artificer and level 3 Storm Singer right now. And I completed Salt Marsh, so that means I'm getting ready to head on into the next area. I think the Feywild is next, if I remember properly.
Yes, that would logically make sense.
All right, so I'm getting ready to head off into the Feywild. Then on tabletop, I played a couple of games of Wormspan, which is the new dragon-themed, I guess you could say, follow-up to Wingspan. And also, right at the beginning of this month, they finally released the app version of Dominion, so that's finally out. So I've been playing that a bit against the AI. And that's what I have been doing recently.
What did you think of Wormspan?
Oh, I like it a lot. It worked out very well.
How, I guess faithful is not the right word I want to use, but how much like Wingspan is it? Like, if somebody would never play Wingspan, could they pick up Wormspan and play it and get it? Or would it help if you had played Wingspan? I know you played both, and I haven't played Wingspan at all. I really have no desire to play it, but Wormspan interests me a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. I think that it would. I don't think that you really need any. I mean, assuming that you're some reasonable gaming experience at least, then I
Okay.
don't think you should need anything specific Wingspan
Okay. Yeah.
experience. or
Yeah. I
anything
mean,
like
I realize it's not like a sequel to Wingspan or anything. It's like
Right.
a totally different game, but I just assumed some of the like mechanics would be similar to
Well,
Wingspan.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it,
yeah, of
okay.
course, yeah, there are some similarities in there. Then there's some things
Right.
that are very different.
Okay.
Now they do have a section there where they, a blocked off section is things to note to you if you've played Wingspan before. That
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
yes, there are differences here. So
Okay.
they give you that summary. These are the things that are different. So you better watch out for these if you've played
Gotcha.
Wingspan before, and if you haven't, then I guess you can ignore that little box.
Gotcha. Okay.
We currently have 12 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the Nations page to support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. Ooh, it looks like we have a featured comment and an email. Ooh, we got
do. We
quite
got
a bit of feedback
both.
this week.
We did.
Ooh, and we have a featured comment from Swithin of Kenneth. What does he say?
You can. This is in relation to the last episode where we were talking about multi-classing into an archetype, and we weren't sure if you could do that at any time. And he says,
Right.
yes, you can multi-class into an archetype at any point. For example, you can first take a few levels of Artificer and then take a level of Stormsinger at, say, level 4. All of this is allowed. The only thing you cannot do is take both levels in the vanilla version of the class and also levels in the archetype. So, for example, you cannot take one level of Bard and then one level of Stormsinger.
All right,
Okay.
that makes sense.
That makes total sense, yes.
All right. And then we have an email here from.
It's from Saba Jade, and I have to apologize to her. We should have included this email in the last episode, and I completely forgot about the email.
Okay.
So she sent this quite a while ago, and it's been sitting here for us to talk about, and I completely forgot. As you'll see once we start reading the email, you'll see how long we have had this email, and I apologize, Saba, for holding on to this for so long.
Okay.
She says, hey guys, great year-end episodes. Yeah, we had this email for quite a while. You need to do more eps, because I need more sleep, Smiley face. And that is a relation. If you remember, the last time we had Saba on the show, she said she usually listens to the show at night when she's ready for bed, and she usually falls asleep. And I said, so does that mean we put you to sleep? Apparently we do. So I don't know how far into this episode she'll make it before she passes out, but you're welcome, Saba, for your sleep episode. And then this email, it's a really long email. It's in relation to, in the year-end episode, you were talking about some of the difficulties you were having with finding, quests for leveling. If you remember that year-end episode a while ago. She says, not sure why you're having difficulties at any level finding quests unless you just don't like to quest at that level. That I can totally understand, as there are many, many quests I don't do because, well, they suck. Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking at you, Crucible. Right at you. So here are two lists. The first is if you do the quest on a Leader Reaper, which is not you. These are what I do at 10 to 12. I skip lots, see above, because at level 8, especially, they're just a bunch of crappy quests. So we won't actually go over the Reaper Elite quest because that's not necessarily for you. So if you want to see it, this is in the show notes, but she will lay out everything she does. And I am actually going to start doing this. But let's concentrate on you, the normal hard player, which is what you normally do. Okay. So at level 10, she does the same as she does at level 12 on Elite Reaper. So I'm going to jump up. So level 10, you should be looking at Thurnal and Sorrow Dusk. Do the level 10 quest that is in the desert. Reclamation and Psychro's Jewel in Ataraxia's Haven. I always forget about Ataraxia's Haven. She mentions, don't forget a Slayer pot, because you can get some pretty good Slayers out there. Then do Chain 1 of Ravenloft, Tempest Spine. Make sure you have the Int and Strength covered, because that in Tempest Spine, there's a part where you need both Int and Strength to do something It's been a while since I did those, but I do remember that. Hiding in plain sight, if you feel up for it. I'm not a big fan of that quest, but I mean, it can be a tough one, she says, which it can. And then if you would like, you can find a group doing the Von raid, or be brave and just start a Von raid group up, which I don't see you doing, but okay.
Right.
And then at level 11, do Chain 2 of Ravenloft, the walk-ups in the desert, plus OOB, and the Dead Shall Rise. I love that quest. And the Dead Shall Rise. That is one of my favorite quests, actually. And then sometimes she says we do From Beyond the Grave. Depends on the duo makeup because it can be a tough one with wrong classes. Then do Dreams of Insanity, made to order the enemy within. They do Whisper Doom if needed, but normally don't need to because they'll be 12. Then at level 12, Flaggers in the Desert, Chain 3 of Ravenloft, Diplomatic Immunity Chain, Peril of Planar Eyes Chain, and then depending on the mood, Against the Demon Queen and the Raid if you want. We did it last life because they were looking at getting some Bramble casters. We did the raid up through 32 every few days and never got them. That is a slow drop rate, apparently. And then sometimes we don't need to do all the other quests because we have plenty of XP, so we can pick and choose. Other times we do them because we just want to. Depends on the mood. However, every life, make sure to do Ravenloft, the Desert, and Bon. Anything that's a plagger for a raid. I hope this helps. If you need clarification, we can voice chat anytime. Saba Jade. Thanks for that, Saba. So there you go. So anything different there that you do compared to what she laid out?
Let's see. There are. Let's see, because Stormcleave, I don't think I do that all that often. Oh, actually, a lot of these things I'm trying to remember. Oh, what are they again?
Yeah, because I know when we play, there's some of these quests I don't think have ever done together. So I'm sure there's a couple of these I don't think you have ever done.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Or I've done them once a long time ago and I can't remember what they are.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, there's some of these I forgot about. Like, and the Dead Shall Ride, I love that quest, and I always forget about that quest.
And the Dead Shall, yeah, I can't even remember what that one is.
Yeah, I love that quest so much. We will have to do that, so. Well, there you go. There is some tips for you, because I know you were saying you were having, especially between like 10 and 13, you were having a little bit of an issue. So
right.
That's the Saba Jade ways of leveling. So thanks for the email.
Okay. Thank you, Saba. Now, if you'd like to send us an email, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com, or you could respond to the YouTube video if you're watching the YouTube version. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. USC time. We record Loach Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for today. And this is Pond Mules reminding you to quest responsibly.